What would you do if you were to spawn into a world on a tiny island completely surrounded by ocean? Well, obviously you would delete the world hoping for a better seed next time. But what if that inspires you to live the rest of your life in the ocean, surrounded by the most beautiful fish in the world? Well, that's what I'm here for. Hello and welcome, here I am again, and if you have read the title, then you know what we are going to do today. So, we are going to build a nice little underwater starter base for ourselves, and I think the first thing we have to do is to scout out an area. And in fact, I have already chosen a spot where we are going to put down our starter base. So I found this neat coral reef, and this is where we're going to put our starter base. And I think we can already go with the first step. First step being clearing out the area. So this place is already pretty good, it's already really good, but we need to get rid of all of the kelp. There should not be any kelp where we are going to build, because the kelp is just gonna get in the way. So let's just get rid of all this, just get rid of it. And it's already looking good enough now that there's no kelp there anymore. So now we need to go to step number 2. And look at this looks really pretty, huh? Okay, let's say you have been wandering around a bit and you have collected 1 turtle shell helmet, 1 spoon, some sweet berries, some apples, and of course 17 stacks of dirt and sand. Okay, obviously you won't need so much stuff for that. This is of course a starter base, meaning you should be able to build this with the materials you can get early in the game. This was just a little joke, you know? Just a little joke between us. No, but you will need some sand, because next step for us to do is to build 1 circle over here. So I have built us, So I have built a circle out of dirt right above the area where we want to build our starter base. Or I made it out of dirt because, again, you should be able to build it out of stuff you can get early in the game. I have made a circle that is a little bit big. Of course, you can make it a little bit smaller if you don't want to do so much, but I feel like this is a good size for the circle. And the next thing for us to do is to fill the circle with sand in a dome shape. Because yes, we are going to build a dome underwater. And the way we are going to do that is not with sponges, because who has sponges early in the game? We are going to build a sand dome on top of the circle, and then we are going to remove this layer of dirt underneath the sand, and then the sand will drop down right into the area where we want it to be, and hopefully this will get rid of all the water over there so that we can build our base. And I am going to show you how exactly this is going to look in a minute. So see you then. I have finished the dome. And as you can see, it is an absolute beauty. Obviously, this thing is completely solid, completely filled with sand, because it needs to get rid of all the water in there, meaning also the inside of this thing needs to be full of sand. And now we can go on to probably the most fun part of the entire thing, getting rid of the dirt layer down there. So now we need to hope that I have done everything right and that there's nothing in the way down there, so that everything can just drop down and create the dome that we need for our base. So I think let's just get going. Yep. Okay, this is going to be good. Okay, let's do this. And it seems like everything went exactly as planned. Now we have an underwater sand dome without having to be underwater all the time. So now it is time for the next step. The next step is that you have to cover this entire thing in glass. And of course, for that you have to be underwater. So if you're building this in survival, you should consider making yourself maybe an underwater breathing potion, or maybe you could also just, wing it and just, fight against the death of drowning. Yeah. No, but this is probably the most dangerous part if you're doing this in survival. But, just take your time. The hardest part, forming the dome has already been done, so you just need to build a glass shell around that. And if you just take your time and if the water is not too deep, you should be able to do that in survival. So just let me do this and then we get to the next part. The dome is covered in glass and the next step is as obvious as it can be. We need to get the sand out of the dome so that we can have a beautiful glass dome for our underwater base. And doing that is pretty easy. Just get in there and dig it out. So it's just get in here, dig it out, and if you're in survival, close the roof, or the ceiling I mean, and now you have air to breathe. And now you can just get rid of all the sand. Now, as you can see, I have emptied out this entire dome. We have a beautiful glass roof now, and I also replaced all the stone in here with some white concrete. And you may ask yourself, yo, what on earth, Ken? I thought this was supposed to be a starter base and now you're coming with concrete? Well, you don't have to use concrete. That's the beautiful part. And not to mention, you already have the sand. You also... okay, sorry. But yeah, you don't have to use concrete, of course. I just thought white concrete would work really well in this environment, but of course, you're free to use other blocks as well. I would recommend using lighter blocks, like, for example, sandstone, or maybe even birch wood. Just think about what would look nice in your perfect underwater base. And I decided to use some white concrete because I can. Of course, I have also embedded some lighting in here. Not here. Yeah, here we go. Just some torches with some carpet above them. No sea lanterns because, yeah, I mean, asking you to get sea lanterns is a little bit much, I guess. But now we have an actual underwater base here. And now the next thing up for us to do is to decorate this area over here and make it a little bit more of a base. First of all, we need an entryway. For that, I'm making a little hallway over here, just so that it is a little bit separated from the rest of the base. And we are going to just dig up, I guess. Whoops, I forgot that we are underwater. The base has been filled and it's looking pretty snazzy. As you can see, I have changed up the carpet a little bit, just, it's looking a lot more nicer now. I also added some chests for storage for the start of the game, a little ender chest if you have already enough materials for that, and of course some shulker boxes over here, just, they blend in fairly well into the wall. And if you use this base later on after you finished fighting the dragon, you can add some shulker boxes in the walls just to have a little bit more storage. I also added, basically all of the base workstations? Crafting stations? No, this is a crafting station and all the other ones are workstations, I think. I added all the necessary workstations over here. And of course, a map. I didn't notice that, but our map is... yeah, fairly uninteresting. I haven't had something like this happen in a long time, but look at this. It's almost entirely a completely blue map, except for these 2 pixels over here. It's a little bit annoying, but whatever. I also added some greenery up top so that the dome blends a little bit better with the rest of the ocean. And I also even added some redstone over here. Look at this! Pretty cool, huh? The redstone door can be done fairly easily. It's probably one of the easiest redstone doors you can make. So I'm just gonna show you how to do it right now. you simply have to take 2 sticky pistons, link them up with 1 redstone torch, and then you have to connect that redstone torch through a little lower redstone line over here with 2 pressure plates, if I can find them. Here we go. Boom, boom, and then you take your door. I chose an iron block, and now it should work. Yeah, it's probably one of the easiest redstone doors you can make. This design has been around for years, I think, but I personally got it off of Mumbo Jumbo, so if you want to look that up, I link the video in the description, of course. I feel way too smart doing this. Way too smart. Anyway, this is how our base looks from above. Again, you can see all the greenery that we have over here, just blending this thing in with the rest of the coral reef. And I also have hidden the entrance right over here. If you're in survival, you just swim down over here, or you can also make a little tube for you to fall down into. And then here we go. This is the hallway. I have lit it up with some sea lanterns. I broke my promise. Sorry, I used sea lanterns. You can use other blocks, of course, but I mean, sea lanterns just work so well with the water theme. I'm sorry, but here we go. Here's redstone door. Yeah. Oh, I also added a little rim over here with some quartz blocks. If you have already been to the Nether, this should be fairly easy to do. It's not that much quartz, but that's all just optional, of course. It's all just decoration. So just be creative, you know, you can decorate this thing how you want. This is how I did it. It's really, really simple. It's not much material. We have some later game stuff in here, like shulker boxes, but that's just optional. Of course, you can leave them and just take your normal chests. You can use barrels, you can use some wood instead of concrete. It's up to you. I just wanted to show you how cool it can be to live underwater in a dome. And the best part is, if you want to continue using this base, you can expand it basically indefinitely. Let me show you how. I have added another hallway over here. If you continue playing the game, you can add even more rooms by just adding more hallways and adding more domes. As you can see, I have added a little enchanting station over here and also a little bedroom area because we didn't have one. And oh, look at this. Apparently it's night. There we go. And you can even just string this along by adding more and more and more domes. I have added another one over here where we have our nether area. So you see, this thing can be continued basically endlessly, and you could like make a base that would span the entire ocean. Okay, maybe not that much, but you see my point. This is a really cool way of building bases. I think this is really fun. And yeah, you can just continue doing that and add even more rooms to your base. Man, this is really cozy actually. And there we have it, folks. This is our underwater dome base. If you make one as a starter base, or if you want to continue building one, making it into one big base, this is entirely up to you. I think this is really fun, like it's a really nice base to have, and if you want to live underwater, I would ask you to consider using this design. It's really fun. I think that's enough from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I see you next time. Goodbye.